Fibonacci sequence. So we all know the Fibonacci sequence. It's 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. I think it's written here. Yeah, it's written here. Okay. This is a Fibonacci sequence. So what I want to do, I want to pass an index of the number inside the Fibonacci sequence. For example, if the given index was 2, so what I want here, this number, because it's the second number in the sequence. If it was 4, I want 3. If it was 8, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I want 21. And so our function is going to take the index or the given number, which will refer to the index of the number in the Fibonacci sequence. Function will take the number, and then I want to generate the Fibonacci sequence. To do that, I want to define 3 variables. Okay, let's start with the basic code that I explained through the process. So we want to define a function takes number as a parameter. Okay, and I want to define 3 variables and take one of the variable to be 1. Why? I'll explain it soon. 1 variable value to be 1. And next, I want to the for loop, of course, for loop start from 1. Why the for loop is going to start from 1? I will also explain it through the code, explain more from the code, and in yeah, the given number check the value of the variables. Why? Here I have 3 variables. One of the variables is the current value of the sequence, and the 2 are the previous 2 values. Because like we know, Fibonacci sequence, the current element is the sum of the previous 2 elements. So I want to hold the value of the previous 2 elements. To do that, I want 2 variables to do that. Yeah. And 1 variable to represent the current value. That's why I set it to be 1. Okay, why did I set it to be 1? I can set it to be 0. And inside the code, I have to add an if condition to set it to 1. So when I shift it to the previous 2 values, it can be added. But if I set it to 0, and when I shift 0 to the previous 2 values, that will make no sense. Anyway, it will be more clear when I'm writing the code. So I have 3 variables, like I said, represents the current value and the previous 2 values of the sequence of Fibonacci sequence. And that's why I let the loop to start from 1, because I have already set the first element in the sequence. So I wanted to start from 1 and to start generating the rest of the elements. Okay, now I want to shift the values of the variables, and then return what I am going to return. Then let's say the result or the first variable. It's up to you. Return the result. Okay, so let's start. I want a function. I will call it fib. It will take a number. I want to define 3 variables. Let say which will represent the current value, and let say 1 equal to 0, and let say 2 equal to 0. I want a for loop. It's going to start from 1 and end at the number value I plus. Now I want to well, if I want to shape the value, when I want to shape the value, I'll start from the last variable to the first variable. So equal to will equal to equal 1, and then equal 1 will equal to equal, and then equal is going to equal to equal 1, sorry 1, yeah, plus equal 2. So this is the current value will equal the previous 2 values. What to do next? I want to return sig. Return sig. Yeah. So let's console log. Fib. The given number, let's say it's 4, and the result in our case must be 1, 2, 3, 4. It must be 3. It's 5. Okay, why was it 5? I think yes, I think I know why. We set equal to be 1. Okay. And the for loop is okay. I got it. I got it. I got it. For loop must start from two. Yeah, I explained it, but I write it wrong here. Why? Sorry. Why? Because I said we have already set the first value, so I want to start from the next value. I was just confused because we usually start counting from zero, but here in the Fibonacci sequence we are going to start counting from one, because zero is the value. Yeah, it's the value of zero. Yeah. Okay. So now the first element is the Fibonacci sequence is one. The second element, I want to start generating the second element, and I have already set the first value to be one, so that's why I have to start from two. Yeah, and here it is. I just make a brief for it. We want a function. Inside the function, I want three variables. Two of them, okay. These three variables, two of them is going to present the previous two values for the Fibonacci sequence, and one of them is going to present the current value of the Fibonacci sequence. A for loop starting from 2. Why? Because I have already set this value to be 1. So I have already set the first value of the Fibonacci sequence. So I'm going to start generating from the second value because the first value I have already set it. What if I put this 0 here? So I will start here from 1 and I need here an if condition to set the first value to be 1 because there's no way to generate one than this way. Okay, so now let's get back. So I set the first value. So I start from this generating the second value in the sequence. I will shift the values. So this is the current value. Okay, and the previous value for sequence is going to go back to sequence one, and sequence one will be to sequence two. And so I'm shifting these values. As I said, sequence 2 and sequence 1 represent the previous two values, and sequence 1 is the current value that I'm going to generate. So then I return sequence, and this is what I get. Let's go to the T diagram. Let's see, I have the index and I have the result exactly, but to make it more clear, I will put each value of this separately. I'll start with sequence 2, sequence 1, and the current value, which is sequence. Okay. Okay, no need for this cell to be this big. Yeah. Okay. So the given number is 4. Like I said, we are going to start from 2. But before I start, sequence 2 is 0, sequence 1 is 0, and sequence is 1. Okay, now I equal to 0. I have, sorry, now I equal to 2. Okay, this is the previous value. Okay, so the current value that I'm going to generate, I'm going to start from 2. Why? Because I have already set 1. Okay, so I'm going to start generating from here. So I want to shift the values now. Sequel 2 is going to be 0 and sequel 1 is going to be 1. Why? Because this value here, it's the previous value. Like I said, I'm starting generating from here. Okay, so this is sequel 1, this is the previous value. And the value of sequence is 0 plus 1, which is going to be 1. When I equal to 3, let me show you the full code. Yeah, okay. When I equal to 3, sequence 2 value is going to the previous value of sequence 1, which is 1, and sequence 1 value. What is this? Okay, I have no idea what's going on. Let's say sec equal to 0 plus 1, which is going to be 1. Yes, okay. And sequence 1 is going to be the previous value of sequence, which is 1. So sequence 1 is sequence 2, and sequence is sequence 1, sorry, sequence 2 is sequence 1, and sequence 1 is the value of sequence, and now I will generate new value for sequence, which is 1 plus 1, which is 2. And when I equal to 4, sequence 2 is the previous value of sequence 1, which is this value, and then sequence 1 is the previous value of sequence, which is 2. And I'm going to generate a new value for sequence or the current value, which is 1 plus 3, sorry, 1 plus 2, which is equal to 3. And so on. I hope that was clear. That's all for today.